I've become a real tempo modulation junkie in my old age. Meter changes used to do it for me, but after a certain point I started craving wilder and wilder ways of messing with musical time. This video is about a particularly clever set of these from the excellent track by Wormed. Tempo is a way of describing the rate of felt beats. We can take any bit of music with a clear beat and make it faster or slower. These are tempo changes. A subset of tempo changes are tempo modulations. A lot of people will call these metric modulations because that's what the composer Elliott Carter, who used them a lot, called them. But that doesn't really make sense because it's not really meter that's changing, it's tempo. In a tempo modulation, we take some rhythmic value in a first tempo, such as a dotted eighth note, and reinterpret it to be a different rhythmic value, like a quarter note, in a second tempo. The super wormy one that I'm talking about today is this one. So what's going on here? Basically, we start with a 26-16 pattern articulated in the guitars as 8 dotted eighth notes and 1 regular eighth note, or 3 plus 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 2. We get 8 notes of the same duration, and then one that is 2/3 as long as the others. If this last beat is an eighth note, the cymbals are pounding out quarter notes, which means that for most of the pattern, we get the classic dotted versus undotted, 3 versus 2 phasing thing.
But ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Oops, not that one. Here's the wormy version again, where the last eighth note makes it so that the pattern doesn't fit nicely into the quarter notes of the cymbal, at least until the second time through. In the next section, when the drums drop out, the guitar pattern loses this last lonely eighth note attack. Because these durations have been dotted eighth notes until now, we probably still hear them against this background beat, even when the drums aren't playing it anymore. However, because now all the guitar notes are the same duration as each other and there are no drums, it's easy for our ears to do an Occam's razor to it and just hear these guitar note durations as the beat. And, as it turns out, this is what happens. The beat has gotten faster by a factor of 4/3, and when the drums come back in, we hear that the pulse has changed along with it. So, overall, we start with this long, uneven 26-16 pattern against quarter note cymbal hits, then the cymbals drop off and the last lonely eighth note gets chopped off the end of the guitar pattern, leaving us in a kind of limbo where we want to keep hearing the old quarter note, but it's simpler to hear the guitar durations as the new beat. Then, the drums come back in with a gnarly blast beat at this faster tempo, confirming what our ear wanted to hear. It feels like we have this clunky riff pattern, but then we cut off the weird part and streamline it, shifting into a new gear, or maybe jumping into a portal to a new dimension, accelerating into a new region of musical time. Here it is, finally, with the recording. And I should make sure to mention that it's gnarly, robotic, and heavy as heck. You've been warned. I love tempo modulations because they're both fascinating intellectually, the nuts and bolts of them are generally pretty unique and clever, and extremely kinetic in that they give you this sudden jolt to move in a different way. Here, I think they're even cooler because they feel like space and time travel, fitting in nicely with Worm's whole aesthetic. Apparently, I'm supposed to ask questions to promote fan engagement. Does anyone watching this have a favorite tempo modulation in any music? Let me know in the comments down below, and then also please like and drumscribe. See ya.